Hello, everybody. This is Daniel Young, owner and founder of Adapted Perspective. I believe it's my purpose and calling to help you identify your dreams and help you reach your financial freedom destination and maintain it so that you can pass your wealth off to the next generation. If you've seen any of my past videos, you understand our investment strategy using closed-end funds. Understanding that strategy is key because I'm going to apply that strategy towards sifting and filtering out financial memes. Most of the memes are trash, though I have found some decent ones here and there. So, reminders, this is an unedited video. Who knows what you'll hear in the background as I film these in my house. If I show our strategy of using closed-end funds, I will briefly explain that system before transitioning back into these meme reviews. Disclaimers. I I used to list all these out, but if you want the full disclaimers, see those in the description below. The only one I'll mention here is that I am not a financial advisor. I am a financial strategist. This is not a closed-end fund review. Instead, I'm talking about filtering the financial advice you see on the internet at large, which does include this review. But then you also see the memes on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. Essentially, as soon as you click on one meme somewhere, that built-in algorithm automatically thinks you want more of them. So if you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm about. The purpose, the methodology behind our investment strategy, using that knowledge and continued growth of knowledge or wealth of knowledge allows me an easier ability to sift through all the supposed knowledge and advice that's floating around on the internet. So my goal isn't to just trash people. I'll use our lens to call out crappy memes and bad advice, but I'm not going to outright trash the people who put the information on the internet. I'm not out to slander anybody. I'm interested in separating the good from the bad when it comes to financial advice because none of us want bad advice. So let's get into this. I need to share my screen. All right. So this is my page on Pinterest. This banner is the same banner on YouTube and it's the same banner on Facebook. When you come to my profile, you'll see all these different boards, but what we're looking at is this board, income and memes. And if you scroll all the way down, you'll see what I'm talking about. I want to say this is 2 rows up from the bottom. So if you scroll all the way down, it takes a while to get there. I added these 3 yesterday. It's an ever expanding list. So I have plenty of fodder for upcoming videos. And I have so many tabs open because I'm doing several videos today and doing the research related to those videos. So this one, how do most people get rich? And I'm not going to read this to you per se. Um, yes, without buying properties, how do most people attempt to get rich? Now, one, rich or the term rich is based on perspective. If you lined 10 people up for 10 different walks of life, 10 different professions, all of them would have a different perspective on rich and what that really means. That's not a good way to look at overall money. Robert Kiyosaki has the better term, wealth. Now, wealth in and of itself is the same thing. Who's wealthy and who's not. But if you define wealth as how many days you can exist without having any type of full-time job income, like how many days could you exist without having any kind of job? That's how wealthy you are. So if that's a day, well, great, that's a lot better than most people. If you could exist a year, that's like you're kind of narrowing your competition, I guess you could say. It's not a competition in and of itself. Like there's always going to be somebody with more money. There's always going to be somebody with more wealth. But as you move up that pyramid or move up that ladder, you're further distancing yourself from the average person. So if we look at this meme, how do most people get rich? It really ought to be how do most people get duped? So this guy, this fictional guy, he earns 4 grand a month. He spends $3,200 on who knows what. Um, I mean, maybe he could save more money outside of having fun. Maybe, who knows what he's buying. It's not included. We just know that every single month he has $800 at the end, and he invested into this targeted index fund with a 7% return. And he sets it up so it does it automatically. Now, it's automatically. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. That's easy, right? Everybody wants easy. But in the ease of things, he's actually getting a really crappy deal. So after 30 years of investing $800 a month, he has a net worth of almost $1 million. Now, since it seems like Dylan is single, if he took the $800 and put it in real estate, he'd have way more than that at the end of 30 years, just on real estate value alone, just on the value of a house alone. And there are things that he can do as a single guy that I can't do as a married guy. The other part of this, if we just take it based on the index fund, so he gets a 7% annual return. That doesn't count for management fees, and that doesn't count for actual real growth. When we owned an annuity, which is a different discussion, though. Me personally, I would say don't do the annuity. So when we bought into this annuity, it was the like, hey, if you're scared about investing in the market, if you're not sure of where to put your money, but you don't think you'll need it anytime soon, put it in an annuity. Okay, so now it's trapped there until you're 67 and a half years old. That sucks. Um, anything we, regardless of how well we do, the person managing that portfolio is taking a percentage cut, and it's a fixed percentage cut. And every annuity is structured differently. So regardless of how well we do, whether we make 10% or whether we don't do well and have negative, like, right, we're negative for the year, regardless of how well we do, that manager's making 4 to 5% off our portfolio. Now, he's doing a lot of work. Should he get paid? Yes. But if you make 7% annual return and your manager takes 5%, now you're only making 2%. Factor in inflation is 4%. So if Dylan's 7% means that his managerial fees are already cut out, then he's actually making more, right? But the other part of that is we're not factoring in inflation. So he makes 7% return a year. That's not dividends. That's not special bonuses. That's just general, just general value. So off that 7%, he's actually losing 4%. So it's really only a 3% gain. That is not building wealth, right? So at the end, he's got almost $1 million. Well, if you take that amount, and it's actually more than 4% over time, but if you take that amount and times it by 4% and then subtract it from that amount, that's the actual value of his money. He's losing 4% a year. 4% a year. That's crazy, right? So he's only gaining 3% a year at best. And if his managerial fees have not been taken out of this equation, he's actually losing money every year. He's losing the managerial fee and he's losing the inflation or the devaluation of his dollar. So he's actually got a negative return. Compare that to our closed-end fund system. It's a self-managed portfolio. We manage it. There's no management fee because we manage it. It generates 9% a year. And it generates 9% a year in dividends. So as the stock market does this and the overall value of everything gets cattywampus, right? Whether you're dollar cost averaging or not, As the market goes crazy, in theory, it goes up until it resets, and it goes up and then it resets, right? Regardless of what the market does, our portfolio pays us 9%. And it pays us that way in dividends with the goal to not sell it because that's the actual value and worth. Now, his portfolio is worth under $1 million, but he's going to have to take money out every year. And he's going to have to take more than 4% out every year. He's going to have to take about, say, 4,000 a month. Man, it's a chunk of change. 48,000 a year off of his diminished net worth of already less than $1 million. He's not going to stay retired. He's going to have to go back to work. So, does it look like a pretty meme? Yes. Is it sound advice? No. So, when you see these memes, you need to actually filter the meme. You can't just be like, hey, that sounds like a great idea. Now, he's younger than I am. He's got a lot longer time in the market than I do. I'm better prepped, right, to succeed than he is just based on my knowledge of the market and the knowledge of the system. Dylan's going to be sucker punched every single year, but he's not going to feel it until he retires. Right. So when you see these financial memes, actually pay attention and look at them. Process what they're telling you, process the data, and then see if it's a good idea or not. So if you like the content, consider subscribing to my channel. And then also head over to Facebook to join my group there called Navigate Your Finances. The information will be in the description below. Just remember, you're the captain of your ship. You're the one making the decisions, right? Be sure you know where you're going. So you're the captain of your ship. You have the power to change your life and your financial future. Many people will offer to help you. There's 330 memes on that board right now, and I add more every week, right? Many people will offer to help you, but only you can make the choice to do it. Make it happen. Shock your world. This is Daniel Young signing off. I will see y'all on another video. Bye-bye.